Welcome back. In this session, we're going to look at unusual chord progressions. So we're going to look at things that are just out of the box, okay? Things that really progressions that shouldn't work together, chords that really shouldn't fit together, and yet they do. And I'll tell you right now that when you play them just by themselves, like they'll sound like weird, they'll sound like, wow, that doesn't make, that just doesn't sound right. But when you put the melodic line on top of that, that's when you have magic, okay? That's the glue that keeps everything together here. So we've got a couple of examples here that I want to play for you. The first one is by Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. Check it out.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
All right, pretty cool, eh? So how does it go? Let's have a look. It's pretty strange stuff going on here. This is not a straight up key signature. It's not a straight up chord progression in a particular key. It's borrowing from all over the place. And that's what makes it unusual and interesting, okay? So we got F sharp major 7, right? That goes for 5 bars. And then we got the B7, okay? E7, A major, D, B minor, and it comes down and resolves into the A major. So that is a pretty amazing progression, right? But you see, it's unconventional, it's unusual. And that's what makes it so amazing and appealing. And it's a very memorable song because of it. So it doesn't fit into that box where hundreds of other songs all share the same chord progression. This is what makes it unique and an amazing and memorable song, okay? It's pretty cool. So let's have a look at the next one, okay? Let's see if you can guess which one this is. This is a very unusual chord progression when played by itself, and I'll show you that in a bit. Now that is an amazing song and an incredible chord progression, completely off the wall, much more unusual than Mrs. Robinson. So let's have a closer look at this, okay? So we're going from B major, pretty simple, nice and easy, nice and clean, B major, right? To F minor 7, okay? Wow. That's quite the change, okay? And from there, E7, C sharp minor 7, and B flat 5. G flat 5, okay? So that's B major. That is the strangest progression. If you were to play that just by itself, you'd think you're listening to like a horror movie or something. The soundtrack from, I don't know what. It sounds spooky, no? And yet, it's one of the most uplifting songs that I know. I love that song, and it really gets my energy going, right? But that, of course, has a lot to do with the melodic line. That melodic line really ties the whole thing together, and you don't even notice this incredibly strange chord progression, and spooky, I might add. E7, C sharp minor 7, G flat 5. These are like, they're not, nothing special about them. It's these two chords, which is pretty cool, right? So that's another one that's pretty strange. And the next one we're gonna do also has two very strange chords. And then when you get to the chorus, everything goes back to normal. Like it's just like a normal boom, 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 straight up chord progression, okay? But the verses are very strange as well. And it goes A minor 7, F sharp minor 7, right? It's nice though, isn't it? Which song is that? Well, let's have a listen.
You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a lie if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby.
Pretty cool, huh? Another one of my favorite songs. So that's another great song. But again, another progression that is like really very almost spooky as well, isn't it? It's pretty cool. So you're going from A minor 7 to F sharp minor 7. It's a very interesting thing. You'd think that you're in the key of A minor. Of course, we're not. F sharp does not belong in the key of A minor, so we're not in the key of A minor. We're somewhere in La La Land, right? There's an F sharp in the key of D, and you'll see that in the chorus, that's the chorus, which is in the key of D. And the F sharp minor is from the key of D, right? Come on, baby, light my fire. Right? So that's the key of D. So the G major, A major, D major. But in the verses, pretty cool, man. Pretty amazing writing, right? Again, outside of the box. So you have something like this that is not going to be shared by, like, I don't know, there might have been, and there probably are songs that are written with that progression, but, you know, I can't think of any. You know, you'd have to dig and try to find them, right? So it's pretty cool, not easy to write to, okay? You really have to experiment with this and really work it, you know, and work with the melodic line and try to get ideas that are out of the box, but you don't want to go too far out of the box either. Because at that point, you're not going to be appealing to, you know, the majority of people that are going to listen to your song. Of course, if you're writing for yourself, your significant other, none of this really matters, right? But you want it to be appealing to others as well, so we could share this, you know, and sort of, yeah, it's great, right? So at the end of the day, it's nice when we can sort of get out of that box, sort of get a little weird, but in a good way, okay? So if that makes any sense, okay? So that's it, guys. Basically, that is what it is, okay? There are no rules at the end of the day. Okay, so we have our structure, we have our wheel of fifths, we have our chord progressions and our keys and our minor and our major. We have a lot of rules in music, but you can break them. You can bend them, you can break them, and that's the fun part as well. You don't always have to do that, but don't think that you're bound and restricted to whatever chord and chord progression, whatever key you're in, okay? Because you're not. You can mix it around, test it out, see what sounds great, and write it. So until the next session, practice with some of these, you know? Take your wheel of fifths and have a look. Mix and match. See what sounds, what you can get out of, you know, something like, you know? Find stuff like this and see what you can do with a melodic line on top of it, even though melodic lines are gonna come in the next module and we're really gonna get into that big time. But for now, have a play, all right? See you in the next session.